I think it's always awesome to go against a great opponent. Going against the Buffalo Bills, I mean, they have a great defense, they have a great offense, great special teams, just an overall great team. And so, anytime you get to play on these games, Monday evening, night, whatever it is, and you get to go up against a great opponent, it's always an exciting challenge, and I'm ready for it.
Let's go next to Breland Moore. Go ahead, Breland.
Good morning, Patrick. To kind of go off of Karen's question here, we've seen you go up against young quarterbacks, really and truthfully, 3 out of the 5 games so far this year. And a lot of them, you have relationships with prior to. Are you friends with Josh Allen? What do you know about him? And, have you guys kind of crossed paths, not on the field per se, but, in just life in general?
Yeah, we've crossed paths a few times. I mean, I really respect his game. I mean, he's been someone that's gotten better and better every single year. And from everything that I've heard and everybody that I've been around, he works his tail off. So he's a guy that I know I'll be facing a lot as our careers go on. And it'll be a great challenge and a great opportunity for me to get to go against that team and him at quarterback.
Let's go next to Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Patrick. I have 2 election-related questions. Brad, if you don't mind, I'll just ask one at a time. Would you mind taking us through what the confusion was when you were trying to vote and discovered you weren't registered, and how meaningful that was? And I'll come back with a second one.
Yeah, I think the confusion was that when I registered, I was registering in Texas with my house in Texas, and I'm kind of really close to a county line. And I had sent it, and I knew I'd put the right county in. But it somehow got sent to another county and then got canceled, and they didn't really let me know. And so whenever I went to kind of go get your absentee voting type stuff, I realized that I wasn't registered to vote still, and I thought I had sent it in. But obviously I was able to do it again. I was able to stay on top of it and making sure that I got registered and everything like that. And now being able to be a registered voter, I plan on using my voice and going out there and doing that.
And that was just the follow-up, Patrick. You've made this a sort of a platform of yours. I wonder, we're less than 3 weeks to the election now. Will you be doing anything more in particular to raise awareness and just get your voice heard about getting our voices heard?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do what I can, and I think the biggest thing is, like you said, is just using your voice. No matter what that voice is, whatever your opinion is, just using your voice that you have the platform and you've been given, in a very important year, to go out there and do what you can to be a part of this country and be a part of trying to make us better every single day.
Let's go next to Matt Mcmullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Patrick. To follow up on that, actually, so Arrowhead will be a polling location here for the general election, and you and your foundation, 15 and the Mahomes, played a huge role in making that happen. Can you walk us through that process and why that was important to you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it started off with great communication with the organization and the Kansas City Chiefs of trying to use Arrowhead as such a historic place, such a great spot in this community as a place for people to come together and vote and use their voice. And so with talking with them and the people in my foundation, we were able to make that stuff come to life. And I'm proud of this organization and my foundation for being able to do that, along with other guys on the team who were really impactful of making it a polling place so everybody can use their voice and have a neutral ground to go do it.
Let's go next to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Patrick, good afternoon. In light of Sammy Watkins' hamstring injury, Mecole Hardman probably going to see a bigger role. How better equipped is he, in your opinion, to handle it this year compared to last year when he had to fill in?
I mean, obviously he's got more and more experience. I thought he did a pretty good job last year when he filled in for Tyreek and for, I think it was Sammy at some points. So he's a guy that's ready for the challenge. It's about stepping up and being prepared. And you know what he can do when he gets the ball in his hands. So it's about just making sure that he's prepared and ready to go, and I'm sure he will be.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick, a couple things. First of all, a lot of the numbers will show that you all are a better offensive team when Sammy's on the field than when he's not. I was wondering if there's some things that he does that maybe don't show up in the stat sheet that make you guys a better offensive team. And the second thing is, I was wondering if you had any kind of recruiting pitch for Le'Veon Bell.
Well, the first part, I mean, obviously having Sammy out there is a huge plus. I mean, he's someone who does everything. I mean, he's able to catch and be explosive. He blocks very well. He gets other guys open, and whenever you have those type of playmakers on the field, defenses have to really take notice of that. And so I think that's why you see the subtle differences and the production and stuff like that. But you're hoping guys can step up like Mecole and Pringle and all these other guys and make up for some of that production. And then with the Le'Veon thing, I leave that stuff up to Veach and them. Obviously, a tremendous player, someone that can do it all, catch the ball, run the ball. But I let Veach and them handle everything like that. And then when whoever's in this locker room, we make sure they're ready to go and make plays on Sundays.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Patrick, two things real quick. One, whatever happened to the competition that was going to happen between you and Josh Allen and who could throw the ball the furthest? Did that ever come about, and will it ever come about? And then as a follow-up, this was kind of a unique one where you could actually sit back and watch their game. And I'm just curious what you do when you got your next opponent and you get a chance to sit, and do you take in the whole game? Do you take notes? What do you do when watching the game?
Yeah, the first part of your question, I mean, obviously with the COVID situation going on this offseason, we weren't able to get anything like that going. And I mean, we'll see what happens in the future. I mean, I'm usually in Texas. He's usually in California. So we'll see what happens with that in the future. But I'm always up to any challenge and everything like that. And so and then the second part of your question, you ask it one more time for me, please.
Sorry. Yes. Just what getting a chance to watch the Bills, like get an opponent. Usually you guys are always playing at the same time. You don't get a chance to get that extra look at them. I'm just curious what you do when you do get that opportunity.
So yeah, usually in the games, I don't necessarily watch the other offense that much, other than just trying to see if we're third down, fourth down, or whatever's going on in the game. I'm usually focusing on what we're trying to do the next drive or the next series or later on in the game, or seeing what the defenses gave to me in the previous series. But I've had a chance to watch their offense a couple times, just playing similar opponents like the Raiders and other teams. And so I was able to see them, and they're a very, very good offense that does a lot of great things. And Josh is playing at a very high level.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick. Brad, I'll have a follow-up to this, but you've always been a pretty candid critic of your own play. I'm wondering when you watch film of Sunday's game, what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, we just didn't execute like we wanted to the entire game. I mean, we had some shots here and there that we hit, and we were able to go down there and score some points. But we just didn't execute and play to the level and the efficiency that we're used to playing at. And when you play against another team that's a great opponent, and you're not executing at a high level and putting your defense in bad situations, usually you don't win the football game. And so we understand that and know that we can't just rely on the big play. We got to make sure that we execute at a high level. And when the big play comes, we have to find a way to hit it and win the football game.
And the second thing is, you were out of the pocket a lot on Sunday. What do you attribute that to? Yeah,
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I mean, obviously they did a good job with their game plan of covering the guys that I wanted to go to, and getting some pressure. But I also I bailed on the pocket sometimes, and I ran out of the pocket sometimes. So it's a combination of a lot of things, but it all really goes down to execution and being able to execute from the pocket. And whenever I do get outside the pocket, I have to make plays happen too. So hopefully this week we'll come out and play another great defense, and hopefully come out with a little bit better effort on our end.
You got three hands up. We'll just go right down the line. Harold, Pete, and then Sam. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Pat. You kind of mentioned, Sam kind of mentioned what I was going to ask you first, but we'll move on with that. Monday, 4:00, usually reserved for like a JV team or a high school football practice, and now it's an NFL game. Just your overall thoughts on playing in the afternoon on Monday, how weird that is. And do you get with the mayor to try to get people out of work early to try to get them a little later to watch the ball game?
Well, I didn't think about that with the mayor, but hopefully people are able to watch it whenever they get off work and everything like that. But for me, it's just like any other football game. We understood the challenges coming into this season and had to be able to expect the unexpected. And it's going to be a Monday game, which will be our third Monday game in 4 weeks or whatever it is. And so we're excited for the opportunity to get to play in front of everybody and get to play against a great football team.
Go to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Pat, it seems like a lot of the good quarterbacks in the league, everyone always has his go-to guy. For you on third and long, or you're looking for somebody, it tends to be Travis Kelce. What about that relationship do you think has made him develop into what has become your go-to guy?
I just think he does a great job of finding ways to get open, even after the routes that he runs might not be there. He's a guy who just continues to work, and he continues to make sure that he's working and trying to get in my vision. And so when I do make these scrambles, sometimes you see him being the recipient of that. But that, as well as a lot of those third and longs, Tyreek and Mcmullen and those guys are kind of getting double teamed over the top, so he's able to work So it's a combination of those things, and it's something that we're going to continue to try to get better at and stay out of those third and longs as much as possible.
Let's go last to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick, I think this is fair to say you're a naturally like positive person. I also think that even after some wins this year, in the press conference, you've been pretty clear that you weren't happy with the performance. I'm just curious in general, your leadership style, if you feel like it's evolved in the last couple of years, if you're more comfortable, or if you feel, more of a need to sort of challenge rather than encourage.
Not necessarily. I think the biggest thing, I've always been someone that loves to challenge the guys in our locker room, but always with a positive mentality. And I think whenever you're going out there and you're putting in the work along with the other guys in the locker room, that we can talk to each other and really challenge each other every single day, and still be best friends in the locker room and everything like that. And so we have a lot of great young veteran guys in this locker room. We've been together for a couple of years now, and we want to be great every single time we hit the field. And when we're not executing at the level that we expect, obviously we're going to try to challenge each other to be better the next time we're out there.
Patrick, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.